Hey guys, we are back. Two were streamed earlier. I will post those a little bit later. But stack 3 is I don't trust you and I don't need your approval. Again, this is what would they say if their ego wasn't in the way. This stack seems like they are still all about their ego, all about their ego, and it seems like a lot of resentment in this stack. A lot of resentment. Okay, I'm gonna light this candle. Welcome to Don't Dim to Fit In. I'm Maggie, and I'm so glad you're here. Okay. Yeah, this person is still really just like defensive. They got their back up. And they're like, I don't trust you. I don't need your approval. You're not my mother. You're not my wife. You're not my husband. You're not my dad. Like, I don't need any. Yeah. And on top of that, they don't trust you either. So, okay. It feels a lot like projecting. Like they're projecting their issues onto you. This person could have not been trustworthy, so now they don't trust other people. Okay. All right, Spirit, what does stack 3 need to know for their highest and greatest good? What would this person say if their ego wasn't in the way? Casper the Shady Ghost. Mysterious and cute, but doesn't stick around for long and only appears at their own convenience. They would say that they just dip in and out whenever they want to. That they're shady, and yeah, you were probably right. They'll ghost you in a minute. Yep. Okay, what else, Spirit? They would say that misery loves company, that they are miserable, and they want you to be miserable too, because then you could both be miserable together. Yeah. That's what they would say if their ego was in the way. Yeah. They're like, I don't trust you, you don't trust me, this is the perfect relationship. Yeah. Convinces others that the bad isn't as bad as it appears, and that people are better off with them than without them. They're like, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I don't need your approval. We don't have to trust each other. I can just dip out of here whenever I want to. But we can still be together. We can just be miserable together. Okay, that sounds really healthy. Just saying. Okay, what else, Spirit? What else? This person could have shattered your heart, like completely shattered your heart. We also have Crash. Their actions tend to have a ripple effect on others, both knowingly and unknowingly, yet they haven't paused to reflect and rectify their behavior. Yeah, they don't do any type of self-reflection. They deflect. They project and they deflect. They're like, yeah, okay, so whatever, so I ghosted you. They have no accountability. They don't stop to say, okay, well, how did that affect not only the person that I ghosted, but their family? They don't care. They don't look inward at all. Yeah. What they would say if their ego wasn't in the way is that they're definitely projecting all of their insecurities onto you, that they don't look within, they don't do the self-reflection, the inner work, and that they're miserable, and it doesn't feel like they care. They want you to be miserable. They want to be miserable together with you. They would rather have that than be apart and like have you be happy and them just doing whatever they're doing right now. Yeah. Okay, anything else, Spirit? This seems like a whole train wreck right here. This is a very unhealed karmic energy, really. But they're still very much in their ego. They're still very much defensive. Yeah. When you were with this person, you could have been more like their mother than their partner. Or their father than their partner. Okay, we have Rusty and Krusty and Mousetrap. Looking like a train wreck and moving like a sloth, but thinks they're a Mercedes. Yeah, they think very highly of themselves. Yeah, they think they're a Mercedes, but they're not. They're more like this type energy. Mousetrap plays games with people's emotions and their life choices by either trapping them emotionally or physically. Yeah, this person plays a lot of games. And you can kind of tell because they're like, I don't trust you. I don't need your approval. I can do whatever I want to do. I can ghost you. I can, misery loves company, all of this stuff. They're like, I can get whoever I want, whoever I want. I'm a Mercedes. I can roll out here and get whoever I want. No, they can't. No, they can't. Their ego is enormous. Enormous. If they did the self-reflection, they would understand that, like, hey, you're not as great as you think you are. Everybody has flaws. Maybe you should look at your flaws, ma'am and or sir. Yeah, and they play a lot of they play a lot of mind games. And they want to trap you because misery loves company. They want to hold you down. They don't want you to ascend. They don't want you to heal. They don't want you to move on. They don't want you to be happy. They want you to be miserable just like them. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, and they do nothing but complain. This is that I am never, ever satisfied. This person doesn't know what gratitude is. They just don't. They're not satisfied with their life. They're not satisfied with anyone else. They expect everyone else to change, but they won't change. They're never, ever, ever satisfied, and it's because they don't do the self-reflection. They're always going to be empty. But because they have this enormous ego, they would never tell you this. And they're going to roll around like a Mercedes. They're going to dress to the nines. They're going to smell nice. Their hair is going to be great. They're going to wear the best dress, the heels. They're going to have the purse. But really, on the inside, they're just this little rust. They're this rust bucket. Their spirit is icky, rusty and crusty. Yeah, and they don't make any decisions. They take forever. It's that energy where they're just like, oh my God, I hate my job. My job is so terrible. It's like, but it's like, okay, then get another job. Oh, but then I'd have to update my resume and I'd have to like interview, and I just really don't want to do that. So they'd rather complain and complain and complain than change their situation. This is pile 3. You know anyone like this? This is your pile. This person needs an ego death, like big time. They need to do the self-reflection. Okay, let's go to Papa Love. But according to them, they can do whatever they want. They don't trust you, and they don't need your approval, okay? But I'm not getting that you want their approval. Like, You've moved on from this. You're fine. Yeah, they're a runner. You could have a runner-chaser dynamic with this person. Yeah, they're very ego-driven. Look at that. I am the best looking person in the entire world. Look at me. Wow. I mean, you might be good looking on the outside, but how you doing on the inside, honey? How's your spirit? Alright, spirit. Let's go. What else does pile 3 need to know for their highest and greatest good? This person needs healing. Yeah, they feel like their life is falling apart. See, this is that constant complainer. They're like, oh, I'm going through tower moments. My life is falling apart, but they don't want to do anything to fix it. They just want to complain. And they're saying that you were the only solid thing in their life. But they don't trust you and they don't need your approval, so what gives? This is what they would tell you, like, if they had an honest conversation with you. You were the only thing that was solid in my life, the only thing good in my life, and guess what? I ruined it. Everything they build falls down because they're not building it on a solid foundation. It's giving the big bad wolf and the 3 little pigs, right? You've got to build your house of something more than just straw. This person is arrogant. Very, very arrogant. They think that they're the best thing that was ever made. They expect everyone else to change, but they really are the ones that need to change. Yeah, 55. 55 always gives me change. You could be seeing repeating numbers like everywhere. I know now I have control of my life. No one is holding me captive, and no one is controlling my circumstances. I recognize the power of my free will, and I now choose to be happy. Okay. This feels like your energy. So even if this is them, that's great, but this really doesn't feel like them because they're constant complainers. They don't change. This is your energy here. They could be mirroring you or trying to copy you in some way. What else, Spirit? Cycles, yep. This is a karmic cycle. They're stuck in a karmic loop. They could be 42 years old or 24. We keep replaying the same story over and over again, and it never ends. It never ends well. When are we going to do better so we can be better? Well, you've done better, collective. This person who's stuck in their ego, who refuses to change, who constantly complains, is going to be stuck in this cycle until they decide to go within, to do self-reflection, to do soul searching, whatever you want to call it, to be accountable in some way for their decisions, their choices. Until they decide, at this critical juncture, till they decide that they no longer want to be miserable. This could also be you. You could be at a critical juncture. You could be like just going around and around and around with this person, and you're like, I'm tired of this. We do the same thing. We have the same argument. We have the same conversation, and I'm tired of this. I can't have this conversation not one more time. It's time for change. Yeah, it's time for change because this person is a runner. They don't want to do the inner work. They're selfish. They're afraid of change. They would rather complain and be miserable. Yeah. Okay. This is a karmic cycle that, you know, you're going to do what you're going to do, but this feels like a lesson to learn to get out of the karmic cycle. All right, let's see what else they want to say. What would you say if your ego wasn't in the way? Like super duper in the way of pile 3? Hey, I mean, I get it. I used to have, before I had my ego death, woof, I had a huge ego. Huge. I had a lot of soul searching to do. A lot of inner work. Once you do it, it's like, it's awesome. It's very freeing. Very freeing. So if you're a cross watcher, do the work, man. Just do the work. We're just gonna say it just like that. Just a big old shot of truth right there. Okay. These are fun to shuffle here. What's that song? Two of Hearts. Okay. Yeah, you're at a pivotal point, fork in the road, critical juncture. Do you want to just keep going around and around and around with this person, pile 3, or do you want to get off that merry-go-round? I'm focused on healing myself. Okay. So, they want you to know that they're focused on their healing. Okay. What else? I care too much what others think. I love your sense of humor. I am scared of getting hurt, so I act like I don't care. Yeah. Fear. It's fear. But they think you're funny. Okay, what's the advice? What is the advice? Spirit, what is the advice? Use your intuition. Saw the Queen of Cups there. Take your time. Yeah, what they did was not fair. Yeah, many of you are sick and tired of this person. That's for sure. You've been through it. Spirit, what is the advice? Pile 3 advice. They were really unfair to you. It feels like you learned a pretty big lesson from this experience, or you will learn a lesson from this experience if you're still in that karmic cycle. They're also watching you in some way. Yeah, this is giving that they were trying to keep you small. They were trying to keep you stuck. They were dimming your light. And you walked away from that. You're like, this is not good for me. They were being unfair. They were trying to shrink me. That whole misery loves company. They were basically like you're swimming with someone and you have a life jacket and they don't, and they're trying to hang on to you and pull you under. You said, no, I had enough of that, and you walked away. You walked away from it. You said, this is not serving me. This is not for my highest and greatest good. I'm out of here. If you haven't done this, Spirit is encouraging you to do this. They wanted to keep you stuck with the Chariot reversed and the 3 of Wands reversed. They didn't want you to grow and expand and get out there and see the world and find your purpose and do all the great things that you're possibly doing now or that you're getting ready to do. They didn't want you to do that. Yeah, and they're resentful as hell. They wanted you to stay where they were at. Miserable. And they didn't get what they wanted. And they're mad about it. They're resentful. Yeah, and you've had enough. You've had enough of this person. You're like, we're not gonna see eye to eye. They're not gonna see my perspective. This is the 9 of Wands. You've been through so much with this person, but you're like, okay, he's holding 1 wand, so he's like, okay, I'm wounded, I'm beat up, but I'm still gonna keep going. I'm still gonna keep going. And you did that, and you walked away. Or you're being encouraged to. You've been dealing with this way too long. Wherever you're going, you're gonna get there. It's gonna take a while. Slow and steady. But you're gonna get there. This is giving, don't underestimate small beginnings. And that sometimes things are slow because they're built to last. Yeah. So keep going, even if it feels like you're going so slow. It's okay. Just keep going. Forward, not backwards, not towards this resentful person who wanted to keep you small and stuck. No. They need to do their own work. You did yours. You're doing yours. However this is resonating for you, you cannot save them. They have to do their own work. Don't let them keep pulling you down under the water so you can't breathe and you can't swim. No. They've got to do their own work. Okay, pile 3. It really feels like that's the message. So I hope you enjoyed it. All right, remember, don't dim to fit in, shine bright, and live true. If this resonated, or part 1 or 2, piles 1 or 2, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're not, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.